Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I am here with the mighty 890 jump, and I just wanted to have a quick tour of it in the 3.6.2 PTU. I have jostled the ship around a little bit. It is quite big for spawning into the game and moving it around. Let's start with how many entry points it has. It has many entry points. It has this area here, which is the hangar, which actually goes down into the ship. There's two docking ports as well at the rear of the ship, one on each side. We've got one here. And then we have two entry points on the underneath of the ship. One being sort of like a cargo elevator, which a ballista can actually fit on. And one being the more sort of like crew elevator, or passenger elevator that takes you to the same sort of area that the docking little doors also do. So you can you summon the door? You can summon the door from a certain angle, but we'll go up in the cargo elevator. So we're in the cargo elevator and we are going up into the main cargo area of the ship. So this is the lowest deck, basically. So in this cargo room, we actually have access to a load of the ship's components. So we've got the jump drives there. We've got the gravity generator over here spinning away. But the idea here is that you'll be able to open these cupboards and you will be able to repair your components and stuff on the fly from your ship. Although some of them are capital class, so some of them you might have to eventually go to specialist facilities to get repaired. On each side of this cargo bay is an engine room as well, engine room A and B, and at the end of this is an elevator which will take you up to an escape raft and upper deck, as well as the deck above, which is the crew deck. So either two decks above, which is the escape raft, and the crew deck, which is just one deck above. Let's get out of here though. Let me open the door. Bam. Very cool. Engine room though, very Star Trek it feels like to me, colour scheme wise. We are going to go up these stairs though, so there's a copy of that room over there, the engine room B. Gonna go up the stairs. So this is the crew deck, basically. So on this deck, you have a lot of different stuff going on. So in here we've got an elevator, basically mirrored from the other side, which will take us up to another escape raft, or we can go back down to engineering. Now, let me out! Let me out! Bam. And then this is the most sort of like asymmetrical part of the ship, and we're going to follow it around. So from the rear of the ship, from the cargo bay, we're going down here. This is the Armoury Corridor, so you can open up all of these, and this is where you will store weapons. Not armor though, but just weapons. I'm hoping that maybe they'll change some of these to be armor as well, maybe? We've got a passenger or guest lift here, which will take us sort of like through central access to the rest of the ship. There's actually two of these elevators, one in the other side of the ship, which is in the crew kitchen, which sort of like is the kitchen for the whole ship. But we'll take these elevators later. Let's continue around. We're travelling towards the main hangar. We've got a med bay here. Little tiny med bay with quarantine area. You don't have much interaction with these panels yet. Little tiny med bay. We can have a little lie down if we need to. No reflection yet. Maybe one day. They've got the tech to make proper mirrors. And this is sort of like the waiting area now that we're in. So this is where you would, if you were a guest, if you've just arrived by ship, you'd wait here until the crew take you somewhere else. Or if you were waiting to get your ship or go on like an excursion or something, and this is where you'd wait. Cool area. Very clean. There's lots of open space in the 890 jump. So sort of bear that in mind. And then we move on to the main hangar bay. I say the main hangar bay, the only hangar bay, unless you convert the cargo area into one as well. There's a door at the end of the room there, and there's a door here, both of which lead to turrets. One on the upper side and one on the underside, the belly. That's the belly one, that's the top turret. And we also have a little basketball net. I forgot what that was called. We can turn the elevator up. So basically the upper doors will open and then the floor will go up. Then a ship can land on that and then you can retract it back in. Now, this can take some quite big ships. I mean, people have fit freelancers in here, so that's pretty big. Although, I say fit, not particularly well. I wouldn't want to sort of like safely land a freelancer in and out of here. So bear that in mind. You can certainly get like a fighter on there quite happily, not just 285Xs, multiple Merlins, that sort of stuff. See the inner gubbins of the elevator there. We'll bring it back down while we go into the top turret. Cool elevator. Oh. We'll go up the elevator to the turret access. And jump into the seat. The ship's actually got multiple turrets, more than you'd expect. It's got these two major turrets, so it's got another one on the underbelly where the other door that I was talking about earlier leads. These have got big laser cannons by stock. And also, you cannot aim at your own ship with these. It literally does not enable you to aim at the 890 jump with this. So bear that in mind when you're looking at assaulting it or defending it blind spot-wise. And sort of like, just bear that in mind. Let's jump out of here. We'll look at the ship in a bit more third person in a bit. We'll just do a tour of the actual ship first. Go back down this elevator. The ship's actually, there's a lot of open space. Beyond that, the ship's actually reasonably small. So that door leads on to the belly turret. It won't bore you by actually showing you the belly. That's exactly the same as the other turret, but, you know, underneath and closer to the center. So going around the ship, and as I said, it was asymmetrical. There's now a berth of EVA suits, so the crew can get EVA'd up before going into an area that's potentially depressurized. We've got the crew sort of rest room, relaxation room. We've got a arcade machine. We've got a pool table. Got some pool cues over there. Pretty Spartan in here, but still nice use of space. I'm actually very much looking forward to Morphologist's video on this because, you know, he is an architect reviews. So this area here that we've just moved into is the crew sort of like living berth. So we've got a load of bathrooms over here and sort of like a changing area. So we've got 3 proper washrooms, so shower, toilets, all of the luxuries that you could expect kind of in a hotel, and that's what the 890 jump really is. Even for the crew, it's kind of a hotel, although not as luxurious as some of the other cabins you will see in a minute. So we've got 7 crew cabins here, and they're all basically the same. It's quite Spartan, little bed, TV, leading out into the main crew area and lounge, where they will sit down and watch TV. Lots of chairs there, lots of areas to relax. You can hear all the doors opening in the background, all automatically opening. Got some interesting art. Not my style, but they'll probably start selling it IRL. And then we move around and we actually go to the food prep and kitchen area. So here is where that you could like serve food to the crew, but also where I suspect food would be put out for other people potentially. We go in here and we've actually got a proper kitchen. So this is interesting because this area might have some use in the future for actually feeding your guests and the crew. Got a load of facilities. No oven that I was able to see. We've got a hob. Interesting sort of plants and vegetables. Fruit potentially. We've got the lift that I talked about earlier. So this is the same on the other side. We've got a mirrored lift, but one goes literally to the other side of the crew deck and this one goes to the crew kitchen. But it's central access to the other floors as well that the passengers will be using. And then over here we've got more kitchen equipment and a walk-in fridge, I believe. Oh, I actually have to open that, so I thought it was going to automatically open. Like an airlocked fridge. With lots of what appears to be basil in it. Lots of different varieties of basil, maybe. You know, nothing nefarious there. We'll keep on going around again. So here we've got some crew escape pods. I don't remember what they were before I started walking towards them. Nothing functional yet, but they've got little screens in, something to keep you busy while you're crying and waiting to be picked up. The crew escape pods. There are also escape rafts as well, proper like little escape ships that are not really for the crew, but I mean in a pinch they would be used by the crew as well. So we've got the battle bridge here. I forgot what it was called briefly. So this will give you mirrored sort of access that the top bridge has, but in a safer area is the idea. So it's got all the same functions as the bridge, and you have the left seat having access to 4 missile turrets that you can have remote access to, and the right seat 2 conventional turrets that you'd have access to as well, which are different from the manned turrets, and then the captain/pilot's chair again. A very cool little idea. And then moving around, we come back to where we were in the cargo bay. Now, we do here have a ladder to give ladder access in case the power goes out effectively to the decks above. And we also have... Oh, no, don't want to go up there yet. We have the escape raft, actually. That's probably a good shout. So we can use each of these smaller lifts to take us up to the escape rafts. So on each side of the this deck, the upper deck, we have an escape raft. So this is where the passengers will be spending most of their time. This is the spa area that we are next to at the moment. So we'll talk more about exactly what's on each of these floors in a second. So we actually have a proper little escape craft here with multiple seats that crew and passengers could get in. Something more luxurious than a normal sort of like little tiny escape pod. We've got the ladder down there. Bam. Going into the sort of main atrium area now. So this is where the spa area is, but there's also a large sort of like atrium and rest area and a docking area and multiple little guest rooms. There's 2 down here. So let's take a look at the guest rooms first. So there's 2 on this level and there's 2 above them as well on the next level up. But these are quite spacious guest rooms with beds, little areas for fish eventually, lots of seating, a bathroom, bam. Much more luxurious than the crew bathrooms. Walk-in sort of shower bath. Oh. That is luxurious. Computer access and that sort of stuff as well. Again, it's mirrored on the other side. We have this docking area as well. So over here we have one of the entry points that I talked about earlier, which is effectively like the crew or ground lift. Could be used for crew or picking up normal people or whatever. I apologise for the lighting bugging out in Arena Commander for the ship. So you can see it's not intended to occasionally flash red. Apologies. So we have another little EVA bay here, and this is the docking port on the side of the ship that I mentioned earlier. Mirrored on the other side as well. So let's go back up into here and have a look around the spa area. So again, mirrored on the other side, we have the escape raft, and then also enables you to take a small elevator down or ladder down. Well, actually just an elevator down on this side. It's the ladders on the other side to get down to the lower decks. Going into the spa, we have a sort of like jacuzzi pool area and water wall. On the other side, we have 2 saunas. Ooh, saunery. Little stone saunas. Just two of them, maybe different temperatures. Maybe one's a salt sauna, And then we have sort of like a wash area and changing area as well. We also have the pool. Oh, well, this is the two lifts I was talking about with central access. So this one takes you down into the hangar crew sort of like side, and this one takes you down to the kitchen side. But they both take you up to the spa area on this level, and above is the dining area, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Over here we've got some more little changing areas, and then we also have a pool with sort of like loungers on each side of it. Cool little area. Not much function for these sort of things at the moment until they add swimming into the game, admittedly. So we're going to go up to the next level, and this is the final level before going on to the penultimate deck, before going on to sort of like the captain's deck and the bridge level. So this is the restaurant sort of like area, which I very much like. It's got like a lounge, it's got a meeting area. So on each side here, we have another guest quarter. Very cool. But basically the same as the other ones that we've already seen. And then over this way, we have various bathrooms, again, because you need 4 bathrooms if you've got a large bar and restaurant. So let's go in through here. I thought I was going to hit some glass there like a bird. I didn't know if the door was open or not. But we have the bar here. There's a lot going on with the bar. It is absolutely massive. Just sort of like take in the amount of seating. We can pick up the champagne. That's how you pronounce it, right? And we'll take this bottle with us. See you later. So yeah, big bar, lots of drinks. Not all the bottles are grabbable or anything yet, so bear that in mind. Eventually, I do expect they will be. The sun is blinding me there. But looking around, you can see there's a huge amount of seating for people to do social parties. You could easily get a full server on an 890 jump, in my opinion, and still have room on board with seats. Like, there's seats everywhere. So moving on to here, we're moving on to the restaurant area now. So we've got a load of food servings. There's quite bumpy here. There's lots of sort of like up and down levels for your feet. There's some proper sort of like little restaurant-y food areas. I didn't see a dumbwaiter, which I was expecting to see from the kitchen, a dumbwaiter up, but maybe that will be included later. And then we've got sort of like a more large dining table and meeting area as well, which is directly below the bridge and sort of like observes whatever the ship is looking at. And lots of these sort of like windowed areas are around the ship. And I think it looks very, very, very cool. But this ship is just this massive social entity more than anything else. There's a toilet as well. What's it? Oh! This is where the dumbwaiter would be. And this is where the... Oh. What? I think I got slightly confused. Does this take me to the kitchen? No? Yeah, so this takes me to the kitchen. No, this is right. This is right. I thought there was an extra lift. So that takes me to the kitchen on the lowest deck. And then we have the spa and pool. Bam. And then we have back up to where we were, which is the dining area. Okay. So this lift would act effectively as a dumbwaiter. So you'd have the kitchen food prepared, the crew take it onto this elevator, it being left on here, which I assume is a hot plate, and then finished up here, and then brought out. Cool. That sort of makes sense. Kinda. Right? It does, doesn't it? So that's the sort of like food area. And then we're sort of like done here. Now we're going up to what effectively is the bridge and captain's quarters area. So we've got a lot of recreational space here. Lots and lots of viewing areas. So just loads and loads and loads of chairs facing towards, whoa, whatever you want to look at. Space directly above. Look at the look. Oh my god. When your shields are down, I'd be terrified in this ship. But hopefully you'll never get there. And let's have a look at the captain's quarters. Are the bushes still moving? Oh, they're moving less. That's good. Not so windy here today. Got some cool little item flares, chessboard, stuff like that. Cigar holders. Some interesting 3D art. And then we've got like a waiting area for the captain. I'm assuming this is the captain quarters and not sort of like just a super VIP room, which it could be, I suppose. They're looking out here, a nice little rear view. But this whole area is effectively the captain's quarters from these doors onwards. So this is sort of like a little meeting room with a mini bar. Sit down here, chill out. Got some cool little materials to read. And then it leads on to the bedroom, which is a lovely little bedroom and bathroom. Nice big bathroom, just like the upper ones, or the lower ones for the guests, upper ones. I feel like we've gone opposite way in decks. We've got a nice big TV, and hopefully that'll have some use in the future. And this leads on to the other side, which has a private kitchen. Quite a big private kitchen, though. An area for some fish and stuff, and that leads back around. So now we are going to go up to the main bridge. So obviously you could run the ship from the battle bridge, but you can do it from the main bridge as well if you're not in combat or worried about combat happening. So coming onto the main bridge, we've got two cupboards for what eventually will be components on each side that you can tweak and repair, remove, and all that sort of jazz here. Moving up onto the bridge, got a hollow globe which will mirror, and sort of does mirror at the moment, the radar from the ship. But there's no way of interacting with it, I don't think, yet. You can see what's going on, sort of, but nothing more than that. The bridge is pretty cool. There's a lot going on, like stations over here, which you can't interact with. So maybe these will have useful data in the future, rather than just being sort of like placeholder. There's a huge amount of viewable area. And then there's the 3 seats that enable you to take control of the missile turrets, take control of the conventional turrets, or be the pilot/captain in the main chair. And we'll jump into the main chair now. So from here you can fly the ship. It is a bit of a big beast. 68 rooms. 58? 68 rooms, which is a lot of room. 210 meters long, the ship. That's actually come to a full stop. Otherwise, that will be bad. The ship is absolutely massive, but not as big as I thought. Or at least it's easily traversable, and sort of like you can remember what is going on with it. But very cool looking. I think what I really, really like about the ship, apologies for all the really, really bad camera angles, it's not my expertise making Star Citizen look pretty, or like just general news. It's the sort of like front of the ship. Look at that. Look at the bow. Oh, the internal gubbins. Very cool, very big ship. The largest ship we've had in game. And it is just pretty cool. Let's put down the landing gear. Not a ship that I'd want to land in atmosphere if I could avoid it. Especially on higher gravity planets. But at the moment, you'd only be able to spawn it and take it around from Lorville and Area 18. Although there will be other places that will eventually be able to spawn it. They might be increasing the size of some of the landing pads and that sort of jazz. I haven't read all of the patch notes, admittedly. But yeah, I think the 890 Jump is a very good looking ship. But it is just a big social ship at the moment. I mean, it's going to be reasonably competent, multi-role sort of crew stuff. But I suspect that a lot of its fun and play and gameplay will be from multi-role, sort of like mission running, sort of like quite versatile mission running, but also VIP transport and that sort of stuff. But orgs will want these as status symbols to have org parties on, to organise and plan events, to have them as little capital ships as well for them, although they might not be super useful as a combat ship. I mean, they don't want to brawl with other ships. They just sort of like to experience and look at the verse. And look at the verse they will. But yeah, that's basically it for the 890 jump. I hope you've enjoyed this tour. I'm hoping we get a lot more functionality with things like the hologlobes in the future, and also for the, you know, the pool table, the basketball court, the luxury nature of the ship, which is what 99% of the ship is about. The medical bay and all that sort of stuff. They all need mechanics that need to be put in the game for the game to be a lot more fun and enjoyable. And this is certainly a cool ship, and the fact that it can be in-game and not cause incredible frame lag, and multiples of these can exist in a single instant, is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's a very big, very cool ship. And I look forward to people trying to run them, and even try and run them during the sort of like time before they're ready, because there's only a portion of the mechanics ready for this ship. You'll have to use it as either just a social space or a little bit of a combat ship in the meantime. But please tell me what you think in the comments below. If you want me to do some mission running with this, you want me to have a little party with my BoredGamer org and that sort of stuff, please give me a poke. We'll almost certainly be messing around with this on stream as well. But you take care, guys. Thanks very much for watching. And I look forward to reading your comments down below. Yeah. Mate, this is luxury. Oh, I can go in the sauna when we have temperature. Alright if I'm in full EVA gear, right? Yeah. Every month we have a giveaway. For August, we are giving away a Drake Corsair bundled with an 8-inch Fire tablet and 12 months of Game Glass. Game Glass makes software allowing you to turn touchscreen devices, like tablets and mobiles, into immersive controllers for Star Citizen. But not just Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous is getting support next, and there's plans for lots more games to support this. You can use Game Glass for free, but there are paid options as well, giving you even more functionality. Please follow the links down below to get more info or to download. I'm still also shilling for NordVPN. If you're looking for a VPN, they are very cheap and have many benefits over free services. They help protect you and your privacy online, but it also makes it easier to access various websites as well. And there's Shadow 2, giving you remote access to a Windows 10 gaming PC of your very own, so that you can effectively turn any appropriate device, your smartphone, a computer, a laptop, whatever, into this much more beefy machine. Subscription cloud services, in my opinion, are the way forward, and for some are going to be very appealing instead of sort of maintaining their own PC. For all of those, please follow the links below or use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. A massive thank you for watching. Please consider liking and sharing this content, as well as pressing the bell icon to get informed when a video goes live. Consider Patreon or becoming a YouTube member too if you'd like to further support the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.